The world we live in feels normal, ordinary. It feels like this is simply how humans exist and how we've always existed. But it isn't. Never before in history have humans lived in a world so sophisticated, so engineered around our needs, that survival has become something most of us rarely think about. Food, shelter, safety, clean water, electricity. For many of us, these things are simply expected, but we are the exception. For more than 99.99% of human history, life was completely different. And to understand how extraordinary our lives really are, we have to go back to the beginning, because there has never been just one kind of human. Our story begins about 6 million years ago, when our ancestors split from the ancestors of modern apes. Then around 2.8 million years ago, the first members of the genus Homo appeared, the first humans. We often think of ourselves as the only humans who ever existed. That couldn't be further from the truth. When Homo sapiens appeared roughly 200,000 years ago, we shared the Earth with at least 6 other human species. They weren't primitive monsters. They were intelligent. They built tools. They hunted. They raised families. They had cultures. Imagine living alongside another intelligent human species. It would be like sharing the world with aliens. Some of them were incredibly successful. Homo erectus, for example, survived for nearly 2 million years, 10 times longer than modern humans have existed. Yet today, they are all gone. The last of our human relatives disappeared around 10,000 years ago. Why? No one knows for certain. Modern humans still carry traces of Neanderthal DNA, proving that different human species occasionally had children together, but not often enough to merge into one. Perhaps we competed for food. Perhaps climate change drove them to extinction. Or perhaps history was far more violent than we'd like to imagine. Whatever happened, only one human species remained. Us. Early humans lived simple lives. For nearly 2 million years, progress came painfully slowly. Stone tools changed very little. Life was survival. Then everything changed. We mastered fire. Fire transformed humanity. Cooking made food easier to digest and more nutritious, allowing our brains to grow larger. It gave us warmth during freezing nights, light after sunset, protection from predators. It even became a powerful hunting tool. For the first time, humans began shaping nature instead of simply adapting to it. Around 300,000 years ago, different human species lived in small hunter-gatherer tribes. They built stone tools, controlled fire, planned ahead, buried their dead, created traditions, and most importantly, they talked. Their language was probably much simpler than ours, but it allowed ideas to spread from one mind to another. Imagine having a time machine. How far back could you travel, bring a baby into the modern world, and have no one notice they came from another age? Scientists believe that while anatomically modern humans appeared about 200,000 years ago, behaviorally modern humans emerged much later, around 70,000 years ago. Before then, the human brain may have lacked a few crucial genetic changes necessary for complex language and abstract thought. Then around 50,000 years ago, something extraordinary happened. Human innovation exploded. Tools became more sophisticated, weapons improved, art appeared, cultures became richer. People cooperated on a scale never seen before. This became humanity's true superpower, not our strength, not our speed, not our senses, but our ability to cooperate in enormous groups with complete strangers. Unlike wolves, which live in small packs, or bees whose societies are rigid, humans could organize, adapt, imagine, and work together with incredible flexibility. That single ability changed everything. As our brains evolved, something unprecedented became possible. Knowledge no longer had to die with the people who discovered it. For billions of years, life relied almost entirely on genetics to pass information from one generation to the next. Humans found a shortcut. We could teach. We could preserve knowledge. And more importantly, each generation could build upon the discoveries of the previous one. Today, that seems obvious, but at the time, it was revolutionary. Still, for the next 40,000 years, everyday life changed surprisingly little. There simply wasn't enough accumulated knowledge yet. Building a skyscraper is impossible if no one has ever invented the house. It's easy to underestimate our ancestors. That would be a mistake. Humans living 50,000 years ago were survival experts. They memorized enormous landscapes without maps. They recognized hundreds of plants and animals. They crafted incredibly sophisticated tools that required years of practice. Their bodies were stronger than ours simply because survival demanded it. They lived in tightly connected communities where cooperation wasn't optional. It was life itself. Ironically, the average early modern human may even have had a slightly larger brain than we do today. As a civilization, we know vastly more. But as individuals, our ancestors may have been more capable than we are. Then about 12,000 years ago, humanity made its greatest leap. Agriculture. Everything changed. Instead of constantly searching for food, humans began growing it. Reliable harvest meant stable settlements. Stable settlements allowed specialization. Not everyone needed to hunt anymore. Some people became blacksmiths, others became builders, farmers, potters, inventors. Knowledge diversified, innovation accelerated. Civilization was born. Food could now be stored. Stored food needed protection. Protection required organization. Villages became towns, towns became cities. Cities became kingdoms. Kingdoms became empires. As more people connected, ideas spread faster than ever before. Human progress became exponential. Then came another revolution. Around 500 years ago, science transformed our understanding of reality. Mathematics, physics, astronomy, biology, chemistry. For the first time, humanity developed systematic ways to understand the universe. Soon after came the Industrial Revolution. Machines multiplied human labor. Factories changed economies. Transportation shrank continents. The modern world began taking shape. As society became more efficient, fewer people needed to focus solely on survival. Millions could dedicate their lives to discovery, invention, and progress. Then came computers, the internet, artificial intelligence, each breakthrough accelerating the next. It's difficult to comprehend how quickly all of this happened. Since the first humans appeared, roughly 125,000 generations have lived. Modern humans have existed for about 7,500 generations. Civilization began only about 500 generations ago. Modern science is barely 20 generations old, and the internet became part of everyday life just one generation ago. Today, humanity lives in the most prosperous age in history. We have reshaped the planet itself. We illuminate the night with artificial stars. We fly across oceans in hours. We have walked on the moon, sent robots to other planets, built telescopes capable of looking billions of years into the past. The average high school student today understands more about the universe than many of history's greatest scholars ever could. Humanity dominates this planet, but our dominance is far more fragile than it appears. Despite everything we built, we are still remarkably similar to the humans who lived 70,000 years ago. The instincts that once helped us survive still shape our decisions today. The lifestyle we call normal has existed for less than 0.001% of human history. It is not the rule, it is the exception. And no one knows what comes next. We are building a skyscraper unlike anything the world has ever seen. The only question is, are we building it on solid rock or on quicksand? The next time your train is late, your food isn't hot enough, or someone cuts in line, remember how unbelievably rare your life really is. For almost every human who has ever lived, this ordinary world would have seemed like magic. Think about that.